Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nuke again. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk today about a tweet that just went super viral, and it's here on Twitter, and I'll show you guys in a second. But the tweet is my usual tweet of social media is 100 times worse for women than explicit content or adult content, whatever you want to call it, is for men. Now, uh, the argument about adult movies and content and all that being destructive to men is used a lot by a certain type of demographic of people. It's usually people that are religious, namely women, or sometimes just women that are having trouble with dating or can't find a guy or just unsatisfied or had a bad, uh, just had like a bad relationship or a bad or a marriage go south or something like that, right? So essentially, uh, we're at this point where we already know where this is coming from. This isn't coming from a normal guy, a normal Joe Schmo. It's those three archetypes, and well, we want to know why, and we want to know also my statement why it resonates so much with men but not with women. This is one of those things where it's like a hard divide in between men and women and what they perceive the problem to be or how grave a problem is. And it really boils down to this, guys: women don't have much use for explicit content. Some of them do watch it, but it's not as widespread as men, obviously. But some of them do watch it, but it's not something that is theirs. Adult content has always been a man thing. Obviously, there's different niches that may uh, appeal to women and appeal to homosexual men, but that's that's the minority. The majority is heterosexual, basic stuff. So, okay, then you look at social media, and yeah, I'm on social media right now. As a matter of fact, social media has been very kind to me. I had to put a lot of work in, but social media has been kind to me. It treated me well. But it took a lot of discipline. In order for me to be in front of you right now, I needed to do lots of stuff, and I needed to learn how to set up my equipment. I needed to have interesting stories. I needed to take a lot of hits from haters and people not supporting me. I needed to take a lot of even hits to my private life sometimes, whatever. But it's not easy to get here with my measly 2,760 followers, which I like all of you guys, but even at this level, it's tough. It's tough. But for women, social media is a breeze. It doesn't, at least from our perspective, right? Social media seems easy. They don't have to do much. They whatever niche they're in, if they show a little bit of their sexuality or a lot of it, they'll do fine. They'll grow. They'll have followers. Everyone will care about their opinions. That sounds like I'm a hater or I'm just sour grapes, but the truth is the truth. We recently saw a guy on Twitter. I think he was a coder or something, worked for a coding company, and he asked Gemini to make him into a girl. Take a picture of him. Looks like he was at some kind of work event and make him into a girl and a moderately attractive girl at that. And overnight, in about like what 48 hours, maybe 3 days, 4 days, he went from like 4,800 uh followers to 7,200 or something. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, it's undeniable that being a girl, whatever niche you're in, you're gonna do fine as long as you don't disrespect the people in that niche, at least the higher ranking people in that niche. Just like in any male dominated space, if women want to do well in any male dominated space, they have to stop attacking the guys at the top, right? So, yeah, what's up? I don't want to say your name, but well, what up? So yeah, guys. And that's the reason why women will always defend their social media usage or never criticize it, but men's adult spicy movie thing is the downfall of the West, and that the reason they can't find love is because they can't really partake in it. Now, you may think, well, there's women that produce it, and that's true, right? Women are lining up outside the door to produce it, and then it comes the whole accountability thing, like, no, there's those women are coerced, or they come from bad families, or whatever, and I'm not here to judge. I don't care, but it becomes this thing where, like, if women wanted spicy movies to end, it would end today, 48 hours. If women truly wanted that. Whole elections are decided now on what women want to do with their bodies. So the fact that we're still blaming men, and honestly, I get it. I think, and people are gonna hate me for this. Spicy movies is necessary because what are men gonna do? The ones that can't get laid, the ones that are stuck in marriages where sexless marriages. What are they gonna do? It's a pacifier. It's necessary to keep men pacified in a society where they don't have anything else, no intimacy, no promise of women. At least that's what they think. So it's a necessary evil. It's not the best thing, but what do you guys want, right? Remember during COVID, at least in Texas, during COVID, one of the first things they did was legalize to go alcohol. Like alcohol, you pull up to a store or a drive through, and they would hand you a gallon of Long Island iced tea or something, right? And people would take that Long Island iced tea and drink it. And I was like, wow, this is like we're a month into the pandemic, and we're already legalizing or this isn't a priority to get people to drink. But then if you think about it, you want people to drink. People stuck into their homes, people are bored, people are listless, people are not being productive. It's better to pacify them and get them to drink and relax and lower their anxiety than to have people not, because we need sedations, because the majority of people are not like us or you or me or anyone. They don't have much going for themselves, and that's all they have is their sedations. So yeah, we got a 9.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. You get one of these.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Raj Alethea. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Bro, that's so profoundly sad and true at the same time. They can't find love because they can't participate in it. Well said. Right. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, what do you want these guys to do? There's this pervasive belief that if spicy movies and spicy content went away, that these men will wake out of their stupor, go to the store, buy a nice cologne, go get tailored suits or tailored clothing, go to the gym for 6 months, and just become automatically charming and perfect husbands, guys. But the truth is, that's not ever gonna happen. Most men are always. It's throughout history. Women are hypergamous. Not a lot of men pass their genetics, but a lot of women did, and this is just the sad reality. The thing is, the reason a lot of people want to blame the spicy movie stuff is because if we don't, then what does that say about us as humans? There's a really inconvenient or unfounding truth about women and sad truth about men, that if we stop taking the blame or gave the blame to women, then a lot of people will lose hope, and women don't want that, and the men that support women don't want that either. Another example of this is the birth rate crisis, or the birth crisis, right? Which is like Elon right now is hitting a lot on Twitter or X. The thing is, whenever someone says there's a birth rate crisis, it is an appeal of morality to women. It is saying, women, please have our babies. It isn't some problem that scientists have the key to. It isn't some problem psychologists have the key to, or maybe economists a little bit, because they can help figure out why the economy is doing the way it is. And then because a lot of us can't have families because we don't have the ability to buy a house and all that. So, or move on and save enough money because like healthcare for kids is insane. So yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, um, going back to that, the birth rate thing is, again, it's just saying we're trying to make it a gender neutral issue. Like we're all like it's all everyone's fault. We got to figure this out, guys, and ringing the bells and catastrophizing it. But the truth is, it's up to women. Women control the whole reproductive process. In a lot of states, they're allowed to terminate a pregnancy or carry it out. They're allowed to, they have every single reproductive right. Once the genetic material leaves your body as a man, you have zero rights, nothing. They have all the rights. So with all those rights comes responsibility, meaning that if you don't want to have babies, it's because it's up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to you. All I can do is wear a condom, or whatever way I got to prevent um, any genetic material leaving my body or going into your body. Even if I have genetic material on your leg and you go in the bathroom and you put it inside you, yeah, it's you know, there's nothing I can do there. I have no reproductive rights. So essentially, it's a woman problem. So there's nothing we can do. And every time someone complains about the birth rate crisis, they're saying, please have our babies. And you can't explain your way into having women, you know, l- have your babies. That's not how women work. So a fundamental misunderstanding of women and intersexual dynamics. So yeah. All right. So let's pull up the tweet. Mm, Let's get rid of audio. So here's the tweet, guys. Um, Essentially, it's one of those like, what's your controversial take on this, or what's your controversial take on that? I'm like, well, great, controversial take. It's usually it's not a controversial take. It's a take that their side of the aisle or their followers would like. So if it's a girl, she'll say something fempowerment. If it's a guy, he'll say something that men are human too. Whatever, doesn't really help anything. Um, But what I said is something that is important. And the reason I say it's important is because there's so much involved in this statement that I say. And it's not just something I say only for like shock and awe. Because, it could be it could be shock and awe, and it is, but also there's a lot of like there's understanding and there's theory, not theory, but there's observation behind this, which is the thing that science and women and all these dorks want to take away from us is not trusting our lying eyes. So if you see something and you see it 100 times, but someone says, "Nah, you didn't actually see that," that's what they want to take away from you, that your lying eyes are wrong and that they're right because they went in a lab and they asked 100 women, are you this way that everyone says? No? Okay, thank you. And that's not science. Science is what the PUAs, the guys that date, all that stuff, that is science because they're actually going out and seeing how something acts, not like asking it a question. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Personal experience is what's most important because the thing is, all of us, first off, we're in the shit. We're dealing with women on a daily basis, and we all have the same goal: to get laid and to be happy. And rule zero: positive sexual identity for men and more sexual power and options. Does science have that goal? No. Scientists and researchers want to get published. They want to appeal to women. They're in a gynocentric order, and universities are a huge arm of that order, and they have to play by the rules. So you can't trust them. Guys that don't date, right? They have an ego. They want to seem like they're part of the club without doing any of the work. So they're going to say things that don't help you either because their goal isn't to a positive sexual identity for men. It's, hey guys, they just want to be right. Guys that debate, guys, none of those people can help you because they don't have the same goal as you. Your goal is more power, more sexual power and options, and a positive male identity. That's it. That is your goal as a man. If you're here, if you're not here for that, then don't even go on this channel. It's not the channel for you. So I know it's a little small here, but I say social media is 100 times worse for women than you know what is for men. I'm trying to go by the TOS. So here's the thing, guys. Why do I use such a big number, 100 times worse? And why is like it's almost like I'm minimizing something that everyone says is rotting our brains, rotting the male brain, but I'm making aggrandizing something that even me and you use. And honestly, we're on it right now. You probably saw this on Twitter or on Facebook, and I use social media to communicate with you guys. So it's like, hey, um, what's so bad? What's so evil about this? But the truth is, guys, like if you guys look at the after effects of both, or like what each one implies in terms of time, in terms of what it makes people do, what opportunities or what things open up to people. So if you look at spicy movies, let's say you're a guy and you look at spicy movies, let's say you're a guy and you're 25 and you're trying to get out there, trying to understand women, and you're having trouble, and you go like 3 months without sex or 2 months, and you're having lots of trouble, and you're going crazy because you get so close. You make out with a girl at a pool party, and then a week later you make out with another girl, and you're like so close, but you're having trouble. You're horny, and you're getting every day you're one step closer to getting a lay or getting back out there. And in order to hold you over, you look at spicy movies. You look at some movies online for 30 minutes. What happens? The people would have you believe that you looking at boobies is going to ruin your life. It's like your brain material is going to rot, or your brain, or the gray matter in your brain is going to rot, or whatever weird scientific thing that reason. And all that's going to happen is that, first off, you're going to get sleepy. It's just the chemicals in your brain after you have an orgasm. And you're going to have a little shame, and you're gonna feel like, hey, I should talk to those girls, or like, man, I can do better than this. And that's a good thing. You want to have shame. You should not feel proud to rub one out. You should be like, well, this is like, if a loving relationship is steak and lobster, and spinning plates is your favorite meal at McDonald's. For me, it's like the quarter pounder deluxe, or spicy chicken sandwich. I think it's number 4, 4D. Yeah, that's my favorite McDonald's meal. And then spicy movies are a leftover Snickers bar that you don't know who's been there. Like, if someone else is taking like with a bite out of it that you don't know, right? You're gonna have to choose something. And you have to go with something. And a lot of people are like, "Well, just hold on." I'm like, "No, see, this is the problem. The whole problem with this argument that adult movies are bad, it's not because they care about you, because they don't. They act like they do. None of these people shaming your sexuality and the way you take care of it is they don't give a shit about you. They're not concerned about you. Because if they were concerned, they'd be like, hey, let's go to family court and fight that. Hey, let's get rid of things that make men's lives harder. But they don't. They don't care. They care about themselves and women, and then making themselves look good in front of women. So no one's saying that spicy movies are a good use of your time. They're not. But at the same time, I understand if a guy's having trouble and he needs something to hold him over. I understand that if a guy sleeps with a girl that is terrible in bed or weird, or then and he needs something to just move on, then I understand that. I understand if a guy's deployed 6, 7, 8 months overseas, and he hasn't seen a woman in 3 months, and he needs something to hold him over. I understand if a guy's in a sexless marriage and he doesn't have the tools to like get him out of that situation. I understand that, right? And that's because, not because I am pro spicy movies, because I'm empathetic. I know what the male experience is like. I know what it is to be in a situation where you cannot have sex, because I've been deployed, or I've been bad with women when I was younger, like in my early 20s, or uh, I've been sick, unable to move, hurt, where I still have a sex drive, but I can't move. I can't go out and meet women, right? I've been to the point where I was heartbroken, where I literally could not, like, I was recovering from a heartbreak. My brain was damaged from heartbreak, and I needed something because I don't have any women. My ability to get women to be confident is gone for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or a month or however long your heartbreak lasts, because you are stuck. And this is the thing. Women do not go through these things. Sorry. Women do not go through these things. Right? Women do not understand this experience, so they don't have any empathy or sympathy towards it, because they think that we're doing this maliciously, that we dislike them, right? They're looking for any reason to be victims, because victimhood absolves them of their part of the responsibility. So again, I mentioned, hey, women women are mad at, they so okay, let me organize this. I said that I know what it's like for men to be in a relationship where that is sexless. I don't know, but yeah, you can imagine it sucks, right? It's gotta be one of the worst things ever. So they don't know. They First off, they don't have your sex drive, right? I know there's some theory out there that women want sex just as much as men. They don't, right? They have no idea. If you ask bodybuilders and women that transition to men, their biggest complaint is that they're just horny all the time, and they can't believe men are like this, right? So we have so much more testosterone than women, and that's just our crux. That's just the way we are. So they'll never understand that. Number two, um, women cannot really they cannot fathom this stuff that we go through. And when you imply that a wife isn't doing her job in a marriage, which is having sex with the husband, the guy, the guy that plays the mortgage, the house, raises the kids, does all these things, is willing to has to be willing to die for them, be a good father. Um, you're asking for a lot already. And there are lazy fathers out there, but even then, you're asking for a lot already, and that makes women look bad. So whenever something looks makes women look bad, you have to make men look worse or blame it completely on men. So if a man doesn't have the ability to make his wife want to have sex with him, and that's understandable. We live in an order where men were told the lie of you got to be nice to women and all that. Um, what is he gonna do? What does he have to do? It's never about I care about men. It's about I wanna bully men. And that's what women make accounts for. Women don't make accounts online to support men, and they never will. They will do it to bully them, to show them that they're punks and that they're better than them. So yeah. Um all right. So we discussed the spicy movie side. Now, why I downplayed it, right? It's essentially it's it's not that big a deal, guys. Really, it's not the best use of your time. You can be doing something else. There's so many hey, playing a video game is probably a step up. Learning, practicing your instrument. Call a girl. Go on Instagram and message some old flames. Hey, whatever message. It's a better use of your time, right? Go to sleep, take a nap, right? But at the same time, I understand why men do it, and I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, hey, because I care. Not that I care about men individually. I don't care. Like you guys are living your own lives, but I am a man myself, and I understand, and I know what it's like to just be sexually unsuccessful, even though not for a long time, but I know what it's like. Why I say social media is 100 times worse is because after a guy sees spicy movies, he might jerk it, whatever. Um, Essentially, all that happens is that he may be less sexually able to please women because, he the grip and all that, the friction and the dopamine. From what I've seen on that Reddit, NoFap, most men recover like the recovery period is like 2 weeks. So if you were like gooning every day or twice a day, if you just stop for 2 weeks, you're gonna I think you just like they call it a reset. Uh, guys, if you've ever been to that site, let me know if I'm getting the terms right. I think it's called a reset every like 2 weeks. If you do it without over 2 weeks, which is like the big hurdle for them, and that what ends up happening is that you're back to normal. Only it took 2 weeks, right? You just had to like kick the kick the habit. Now, a lot of guys think that the way to break a addiction, aka a habit, addiction is like no one uh is sucking dick for spicy movies, right? They're doing that for crack, they're doing that for money. No one's doing it for spicy movies. However, plenty of people are doing it for what I just said. So it's not really an addiction, it's just a habit, right? The same way a woman gets up and goes to Starbucks and has a sugary coffee, or someone logs onto social media for 2 hours in the morning. That's a habit. It's not a great habit, but it's a habit. So, um, where's I going with this? So nothing happens besides that. You can't please a woman for a while because, what ends up happening is guys they get a girlfriend or they get sexually successful, right? Maybe they go to a party, they get drunk, and they finally get the balls to talk to a girl, or they finally some ex hits them up or something happens, and they may have sex, and maybe they're able to get it up or something, but that they realize they're at a crossroads, or they're like, okay, I'm actually have a sex life now. My choices are if I keep jerking it, then I won't be able to enjoy my sex life of real women saying my name and moaning it and enjoying it and actually being in the moment versus seeing women that on a screen. The women on the screen look hot, even though, filters, makeup, fisheye lens, whatever, and your own imagination may look great, but this woman that may be like 15 pounds overweight and a little not as pretty is awesome. So I have to make a choice. And that, guys, is how men break their habit. Is because they are forced to make a choice. It's either one or the other. Most men can't do both. It takes a man with a very high sex drive or very careful way of managing this habit. But for the most part, once men are sexually satisfied and getting the women they want, which usually isn't a model, or it's usually just a girl that's sexually enthusiastic, which is the reason a lot of guys, especially married guys, watch spicy movies because of the enthusiasm, not the way the girl looks. Um, but where was I? Yeah, so men have to make that choice, and they usually pick girl. Very rarely do they pick um, back to spicy movies because real sex is always going to be better than on a screen. Always, always, always. So, but social media for women is a different beast because social media for women implies or is basically you don't just log on for 30 minutes, see your posts and your likes, and then log off. And then it takes 2 weeks for you to reset your dopamine. Women have been logging into social media for decades. Women have several issues. Women are very susceptible to what the rest of the group is thinking, and their group is women. Women are very susceptible and addicted to validation on the internet, real or not. Women are susceptible to comparing themselves to other women and other lifestyles and other relationships. And what do you think is going to happen over a course of like when did social media launch? 2009. I'm not talking about MySpace, like Facebook. Like at least I opened my Facebook account in 2009. So what do you think is going to happen? Right, over almost 15 years, there's going to be downstream effects. Right. So guy jerks it. He realizes he has shame. He hides his history. Once he finds a girl, he tapers off or stops watching it altogether. He chooses real woman every time, and he moves on. And he just says, "I'm only going to use this stuff when I absolutely need to." Right? Like, hey, when my girl's on her period, or when we've been fighting, or when I break up, or like whatever. I see it as a break in case of emergency instead of a habit. Whereas women will delay their whole relationships and marriage for years because of social media. Social media will show them this is the ideal. If you don't have this relationship that this thought rich woman has, then you're unhappy. Social media tells women that they're too fat or too skinny, and they fall for it. I can watch videos of Arnold working out all day. Pause. But I'm not gonna be like, that's my ideal. I'm gonna be like, wow, I, I appreciate the grind. That like I need to have that kind of grind sometimes. But I won't give me body dysmorphia. Are there male bodybuilders with body dysmorphia? Of course. But we're just not as susceptible as women. So yeah. Um there's women that they have a family and they apparently won at life. But um let me there's women that have had a family and apparently won at life and have everything going for them. And yet they're still on social media embarrassing their family, showing off their kids, trying to post their straps and all that just for likes, for validation. Hours of this. So think about it like this, guys. Whenever a woman shames your sexuality and how you go about taking care of it, right? She doesn't understand what it is to be a man. She doesn't understand rejection. She doesn't understand women's flakiness. She doesn't understand that, most men struggle to get laid, even guys that are good at it, right? Um, None of those things she understands. So why is it that we have to listen to them when they shame us about how we solve our problem? They have no idea. So, of course, they're gonna say, "Hey, it's your fault that I'm unmarried. It's because all these people are like addicted to spicy movies." I'm like, "No, it's your social media addiction, right? Man versus bear." You look at, you know, you look at Taylor. You can't just listen to Taylor Swift music. You have to look at her lifestyle, right? Taylor Swift can only be that rich and successful because of social media. And obviously everyone uses social media marketing. Well, home marketing is that you have endless opportunities at love. And how does that help women? Knowing that they have a biological clock, knowing that if they want men and a family, they have to hurry up. Like they cannot leave that stuff for last. And we're supposed to believe that that's just as bad as a guy looking at boobies online. Come on. So, Dark Knight Dev. All right, give me 1 second. All right, Dark Knight Dev. Member for 14 months. Thank you, sir. I went 2 weeks, no XXX, and I felt like Majin Vegeta when Babidi tried to control him. Now I Sarge. And if I don't get chicks, I go home or work out. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. In terms of managing your your reproductive problem, first off, stop being ashamed of your manhood, of your testosterone, of the way God made you. God made you like this, right? Women don't know what they're saying. They can complain about the male sex drive all day. But what do you think keeps us having sex with you when you start getting old and dried up? Right? It isn't morality. It's that men's sex drive is high enough, right? To where we're just like, hey, you with wrinkles and kind of a saggy butt, I still you're fine as hell, girl. I still wanna and that's what I'm saying, guys. Like it's by design. So that's what women want to do. It's almost like a shit test. And also realize this too that women look at this stuff too. I've had instances with women where we've sat down, maybe pillow talk or night in, and we're just talking, and they tell me exactly what genres or what actresses they like boom, and I'm like, whoa. And you try to have a straight face, but you're just like, whoa. Add to that, guys, that women are reading what women read isn't pretty insane. Like, listen, I'm just as dirty as the rest of you dogs here in the chat, but I'm afraid of reading a romance novel. I'm terrified. I don't want to know what's in there. Matter of fact, if I can die not knowing what's in there, it's better. So yeah. Todd, right, we can more effectively disassociate from things we see on social media. Yeah. Like, like if I see Andrew Tate saying you're broke because you don't have this crypto coin or this, I can laugh it off. I can be like, it's a gimmick. It's a show. That's not who he really is. But if a woman sees Beyonce or whatever femme powered artist or Taylor Swift getting proposed to at 34 or 35 and she's 26, she'll be like, maybe I don't want to get married. Maybe I want to stack money and buy my own house and all that stuff, And you see what I'm saying? It's all projection. I know there was this thing where like they said that the red pill was um infecting young boys and all that stuff, right? But here's another thing about social media, maybe the main reason why social media is 100 times worse. It's because when you look at spicy movies and jerk it, you feel the consequences immediately. You feel the shame, you feel tired, Maybe you had something to do after, you fall asleep instead. Maybe you were gonna try and go out on a date with a girl, go out and meet a girl, but you don't want to. And there you go, immediate consequences that you're facing face to face in your chemistry. Your body chemistry is feeling it instantly, and you're just like, "Damn, I should not have done this," or "Damn, I should have waited a little bit. What the hell?" But for social media and women go on social media for 8 hours a day. That's why I say I always say, "Hey, post your screen time." Whenever a woman starts blabbing on about spicy movies, always reply to her or quote tweet her, "Post your screen time," right? Because you're wasting hours arguing with men, reposting, maybe making your own content that's not really useful. You're not even making money. Post your screen time. How much time do you waste on the internet? You could be having other hobbies, and don't tell me women don't have hobbies. Women have plants. Women can play video games too. Women can play piano. I've met women with actual hobbies, and they excel. I've met women who had plants, and they knew so much about their plants, and they invested in them, and they kept them really nice. As a matter of fact, some of the reason I have plants is because I was so inspired. I was like, "Wow, I can do this too." I've met women that play instruments. I've met women that could beat me at Mario Kart because that was their thing. They just love playing Nintendo Switch. There are hobbies. Social media isn't a real hobby. It's a soulless way for women to get in there. All she's gonna get is downloaded opinions and act crazy. It pushes off so many things and does so much harm to the point where there's data about women taking a permanent solution to a temporary problem at literally age of 16 whenever iPhones came out and Facebook. So let's cut the shit here and realize that spicy movies have been around for decades, since like the 60s. Yes, it's available in 4K and streaming now, much easier than it ever has been. Maybe a little bit harder now. Um, but uh, at the end of the day, it's nothing like social media, man. Social media is so much more destructive. Social media is making women want to do OF at 18 or 19 and 20. And before you say it's an internet phenomenon, I dated a girl who told me that as soon as she turned 18, she sent in her license and all that stuff to OF so she could start one. We're gonna pretend like that's not a big deal, like that's whatever, right? Yeah. So yeah, yeah, they do. Women have hobbies. I'm telling you, man. Women have hobbies. The thing is that they're not this. We don't view them the same way, but women have hobbies. So yeah, right. Because women are susceptible, right? When you're looking for confirmation of your victimhood, what better place than social media? Go to your in group, which is women, and say, "Hey, I had a bad experience with a man," and everyone will be like, "You go, queen." And then you guys hear like the real story come out, and it's just like, "Hey, but you were hitting him," or "Hey, you cheated on him." Right? It makes women crazy. Part of this new thing you have to do in relationships with women is that you're gonna have to sit down with them from time to time and be like and manage and tell them you have to remind women to manage their social medias. I'm not a big proponent of, having no social media, right? I don't like I'm not like Sharia law level controlling your girl, right? But you have to sit down with her and be like, hey, this is not real. These women are saying these things because they want validation. You are with me, you are not with them. Their opinions don't matter. Are you happy? You already won. Of course, women compete by encouraging um, unattractive behaviors in other women. So they're telling you to be bitchier and do less for me, even though you're happy. Hey, that's them saying I'm bitter and I suck and I'm trying to drag you down. Crabs in a bucket, right? So yeah. All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back. Let me get this comment off the stage. All right, and we're back. Um, so to recap, we talked about why women do this, why they shame it, why they push back against this. It's because social media for women, they're just defending their sedation. Just like men will defend their spicy movies or video games, their weed, their drugs, whatever. We all like to defend our sedation. It's normal. I get it. Um, but it's 100 times worse because of the second order effects. There is no immediate consequences for women posting spicy pictures. There may be a boyfriend or someone in there that may call them out, but even then, they're just like, whatever, like he doesn't, who cares, and dump him and all that stuff. Um, I've seen how women and cloud affects women in real time and what they're willing to do, both in my own life and from other streamers and all that stuff. Like I told you guys the other day, I walked around an anime con. I looked like shit. I looked like a nerd. I had glasses on. I had a Berserk shirt. And women still went up to me and asked, "Hey, why do you have that camera?" I was with Sean. Not a lot, right? But you know, if an attractive woman will walk across the floor just to ask you, interrupt you, and ask you, "Hey, what are you guys streaming?" Right? If there's women willing to have sex with Destiny, and the guy is kind of a creep, at least he's shown to be. Maybe it's a gimmick, but then you guys have to look at this from this perspective that social media is 100 times worse. What women are willing to do for validation and clout is much more than what men are willing to do to watch boobies online. Women are willing to destroy their families. There's plenty of influencers that divorced their husbands before, right when they made it big. I mean, that's normal. Like, women when growing up the social ladder they're not gonna be loyal to their husband, right? They're gonna leave him behind and all that. Um, but yeah, it's essentially you have to be concerned about women's social media usage. Like I told Jack the other day, it's like men need to be as concerned about women and cloud as they were with COVID, because it is something that you shouldn't, like, I'm not saying anxiety wise or anything, but you should at least pay attention. Put your ear to the ground in terms of how women are reacting to social media fame or the promise of it. And you'll realize that it really is very strange. Very, very strange. Women are Beautiful women are hooking up with absolute schlubby dudes, no game, nothing, dorks because of status, and they had a microphone. So think about that, guys. Don't take this as, hey, spicy movies are better. Uh, don't take this as social media is, you should run away for it. Too, as a man, right? We as men, again, this is the thing. The reason why both of these things are not as bad for us and it is for women is because we feel the consequences right away. We pay the price. Again, if you jerk it, you won't be like, there's things that happen to you immediately that make you regret it or feel shame or your inability to do things or make you sleepy. There is a cost. We pay a cost to do this. Because there is a cost. Um, it regulates it, right? If there's no immediate cost for something, then you can just keep doing it worse and worse and worse, and then all of a sudden, once it comes all crashing down on you at once, then what are you gonna do? The cost is too big, you can't barely pay it, and that is social media for women. We got Todd M for the $5.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Todd M with the $5. What are effective ways to guard yourself against the effects of social media on women? Okay. Um, well, we'll start with the confines of a relationship or marriage. You're gonna have to talk to your girlfriend or wife and be like, hey, you gotta let her know, hey, if you love me, you're gonna stop going on these, stop listening to women online about relationship theory. These women are not your friend. They don't want you to be happy. They don't care about you. They are miserable. Got it? Okay. And also, like, I'm not the men in those stories. I am here. I am different. I am the man you love. So those are your choices. If you keep making social media a problem, then I'm going to leave. And that's it. And mean it. That's how you go. Because you can't control women, right? But you can set a boundary. Like, hey, I don't want to hear about any of the stupid TikTok trends you hear. None of that shit. Right? I want to talk about something else. I don't want any fem slop. I don't want to talk about any fem slop. It's been a long day for me. Tell me about your day. Tell me about something productive or something cool or funny or anything. I don't want to hear about what Stacy on TikTok said about men. Right? So that you got to set the boundary early and let her know that yeah, go ahead, watch other things, but if you make it a problem in this relationship, then I'm out. I'm out of here. Number 2, well, for the next level, when you're getting to know women and all that stuff, um, I would say once you start hooking up with a chick, mute her. Like, you don't need to see her stories, you don't need to see what she's doing. Don't like, just mute her on Instagram. Don't listen, just you already got her, right? If you wanna talk to her, quick message. If you wanna see her, just mute her on Instagram. You don't wanna be looking at what she's looking at and all that stuff, right? And then, um another issue with social media and women is that they like to screenshot messages and share them with your group chat. If you share them on Twitter, make fun of you, whatever. Like again, social media not very healthy for women. Again, I'm making my point again. But uh, if you send a girl a message and she doesn't respond within a couple hours, or it says seen and no response, go ahead and unsend that message. I know on Instagram you can do that. If you're on a dating app and you send something out and she doesn't respond, unmatch, move on, because you have to protect yourself, right? These women will use your words and screenshots to put on websites to make fun of you, to make put you somewhere in registry. There's the T app, right? Again, I'm making my point. There's a app where women can make lies about you and make your sexual strategy harder, which is by making fun of you or telling people you have a small dick or you're terrible in bed or you smell bad, all these lies and all that. So the way to protect yourself that is stop leaving paper trails or trails for women to come find you. Another one is aftercare. If you hook up with a chick, make sure you send her a text in the morning that says, "Hey, I had a good time. Thanks." If she stays over, bring her a coffee. Don't be an asshole after you've hooked up with her. Be nice. That way she doesn't take it wrong and go to social media and blow up your spot, right? Try to send more voice messages because voice messages she can't record them as easily. She'll need another phone and it's a whole thing, right? Um, Follow the jumbotron rule. Really, is the number one thing is to follow jumbotron rule. And what is a jumbotron rule? Don't send a girl anything that you wouldn't want displayed on a jumbotron at a sports game, right? Nothing simpy, no dick pics, nothing overly sexual. Obviously, if it's your girlfriend or wife, it's your girlfriend or wife. There's a level of trust there, right? But for the most part, um, for girls, you're not. in a relationship with, in a monogamous relationship with, follow the Jumbotron rule. And all these things should protect you against women in social media. Another thing is that women avoid women, like, and not say avoid women, right? But be careful with women that make content. It's funny for me to say that, right? But women that make content, a lot of, they see the world, or they see every opportunity to make content, and to use you for content, whether it be before, during, or after a relationship. She's going to use you for content and make fun of you or whatever. So maybe women that are like, that's their job or that's their side hustle, maybe not the best to date them, but that's just an opinion. If you think you can handle it, then go ahead. So yeah. And that's a great question. But yeah, those are the ways I protect myself, or I did. So if you keep trying to bring up Jack Neighbor Substack in the house, I will leave it. I mean it. Yeah, and that's another one. Yeah, that's one of those things where I really don't have this issue much. I've never had it. I'm really good at filtering who goes on a date with me and who doesn't. But yeah, unless it's like a quick uh 10 seconds and all that stuff, then yeah, you don't have to deal with that either. So, or as you said, to leave her place immediately after hitting without saying a word. Yeah. I mean, you could say goodbye, kiss on the cheek. You don't have to be absolute savage. It's just, the thing is, like, we live in the Me Too era. We live in the everything is there. There's phones and conversations, and it's easy to track people because we all have a social media footprint and all that stuff. So yeah, yeah. So practice aftercare. Be nice to her. You already hit. You already rearranged your inside. Just be nice, and she'll be less inclined to try to embarrass you online or embarrass you in front of her friends or whatever. So, um, um, yeah. And I mean, there's interesting takes here. If we scroll down, this guy mentions, "Oh, buddy, check out what the attempted S rate for teenage girls was prior to social media as opposed to after." As well, yeah, and that's what I mentioned that. Um, yeah, some guys are still like, yeah, still conservative, yeah. And then I explain, what happens. Uh, Someone's like trash versus garbage. See, that's the thing that a lot of the times when something is paints women in an unflattering light, what they will do is try to make it equal or gender neutral in order to like take the heat off women. I'm like, no, men don't really do well on social media. Men have to be extraordinary to be well on social media. Women, not as much. So it's like, it's not trash versus garbage. It's trash versus nuclear waste. And this girl's, see what I'm saying? Like, why is a woman arguing this on the internet? Doesn't you? If you're a woman arguing with red pill men, there you go. That's the damage. Like, I don't argue with OF girls while I'm watching them. Not that I watch them, right? But that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, another person, damn, you manosphere homosexuals absolutely cannot live without your P word. It's like crack cocaine for you guys. And I'm like, see what I'm saying? You shouldn't even know what manosphere is. You're sick. Yeah, if a girl knows what the manosphere is, and she's not making a lot of money off of it, then that there you go. Social media damaging women. Uh yeah, everyone's pretty much agreeing. What about the influx of P word and OF girls on social media? I think this is equally as harmful for men and women. No, because men understand reality. Again, we are in reality, and reality, there's consequences immediately. If I decide to take care of my sexual problem with OF girls, I get nowhere. I get more bitter. I feel unfulfilled, empty, and I don't get laid, and I don't pass on. I don't give a family and a wife and kids. There are consequences, and I feel them immediately: the shame, the guilt, the feeling of incompetence, the me wanting to hide my history or wanting to hide it. Maybe if you're married, your wife finds the credit card bill and all that. So there are consequences, but they're immediate, and that's why they're not comparable. Yeah, it has never taught them a good lesson. Yeah. P word distorts desire. Social media distorts identity. One affects moments, the other affects who you think you are. What does that even mean? You know, there's one person that says, you know, of course, the intellectuals. There's always ex intellectuals that think they can like. They see a simple statement. They're like, no, I gotta make it complicated to sound smart. Pressing a button that kills 100,000 people is 100 times worse than pressing a button that kills 1,000 people. What? No, you don't need to press a button. When did I say that? You do need to press a button because who's gonna have sex with all these men that suck with women? Who? Not women. So what's the plan here? Are we gonna like put them all in a room, which is like most men that suck with women, and be like, "Hey guys, let's all go out and approach women"? No, that's never gonna happen. So this is a societal. This is just the thing about society. Um, you know, and then people having pretty much agreeing. All right, and I had a good point here where here is this girl, and this is an example, right? This is a huge example. I'll get to your super chat, Alex, in a second, right? So I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe if I blow this up a little bit bigger. Oh, whoops, wrong window. Let me. There you go, a little bit bigger. But this girl right here, she was like, shut the F up. P word is worse physically and as well mentally. Social media is still better when used correctly. There's no use of P word other than a teenager scrolling, affecting his or her eyes, right? So she says, the only bad thing about social media is it hurts your eyes a little bit, right? Because of the screen. I'm like, okay. And then boom. This woman is saying P word is bad because whatever. And then she's literally posting herself in a bra and saying 10 more minutes and I'm breaking my No Nut November, which is the challenge. So she's making jokes about masturbation while wearing a and who the fuck knows how old this chick is? Is she even of age? We don't fucking know. Um yeah, there it is, guys. There it is. This proves my point entirely. And this is what I'm saying. She is literally so social media brained that she does not see it. She does not see anything. It goes way over her head. She just says icky words. They make me feel bad. And I'm like, you're posting these type of pictures, right? And they'll be like, well, that's not spicy content. And that's the same thing as a guy who has a spicy content habit saying, it's not, I don't have a habit. I just use it once in a while when they do it every day. Do you understand why it's so frustrating? This 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 conversation. It's because it's just right in front of us, and people love women or worship women so much that we forget the truth that's right in front of us. We're just like, hey, it's right there. So yeah, the lack of self awareness is crazy. Let's get these super chats.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Okay, Alex Patino with the $5. Going back to the P word earlier about women looking more beautiful. Remember, guys, even stunning women do not look as great as professional models. Correct. And then you had another one. Alex Patino with the $5. Since the ancient Greeks introduced sculptures, they went out of the way to represent female beauty more than what reality is, even in men physics. Yeah, it's that's what happens with social media is that like people. I think there was a show I think it was on Fresh and Fit or something where they invited a plastic surgeon from Turkey, and they asked him what type of surgeries or what do women ask him when they come get work done. And he said they all wanted they all said they wanted to look more like how they do on social media. And let that sink in, guys. Social media is distorting women's perception of self so much that they're going traveling thousands of miles to get risky ass surgeries because the BBLs are still a risky surgery, right? Um, and coming back, and not only risking the surgery itself, you're risking recovery. You're also paying thousands of dollars. You got to get new clothes. You got to get all for just internet validation. Because one of the saddest things I've noticed about women that get BBLs is that they believe it's going to be transform their life. They think, "Oh, I'm going to get a BBL now. I'm going to be richer. It's an investment, right? Like they're buying a house or buying some stock or something." Only to find that they're getting more attention but from the same men, the same level of men that she thought she was better than, right? They really thought it was just about butt cheeks. Are there men that like if they see butt cheeks, they're like, "Yep," but it's just turns out I've seen it so many times in real life, not on the internet, in real life, where women do get the surgery and all they do is get more attention from the same type of guys. They get more, "Hey girl," on Instagram at 10 p.m., right? So yeah, risking death for that's what I'm saying. That's social media. And again, no man travels 1,000 miles to get validation from spicy movies. Women do it all the time. But the thing about with the rise of BBLs, invest in med spas. Are med spas clear to do them now? Well, the thing is, here's the thing with surgeries, right, and things that women do. There's always going to be a status and race filter for things, right? That's why when women discuss dating and they get mad at you, most women can only see dating and intersexual dynamics to through two filters, and that's race and social class. Now with BBLs, they're starting to say that BBLs are older woman coded because it seems like the only people that have the money to get BBLs are women like in their 30s. So if you're like 25, you're not gonna get a BBL because you're hot and young and you don't have to compete as hard. But if you're older, you're probably gonna get the BBL, and then it's more like it's ghetto coded, right? Because if you get it, you're leaving out like most guys, especially fit guys, they'll see it and be like, "I think I like this butt." One butt cheek looks a little bit bigger than the other, and it doesn't match her legs or her body. She still has like, you know, chubby arms or a double chin, but yeah, I think I like this. Whereas that same guy that works out is gonna see a fit Latina, Asian, or white girl in the gym with nice athletic booty and be like, "Yeah, yeah, no, I prefer that. I prefer that 100%." So it doesn't really deliver much in that department. Like every girl I know personally that's gotten work done is still single, and hell, in the past, some of them flirted with me. I'm nothing special. So it's like, what did you do that for? Social media validation. And that's what I'm saying. No guy travels thousands of miles. If there's like a handful that'll travel 1,000 miles to like a spicy movie convention, and those guys are pretty much the lowest of like those guys are just there's nothing you can do for those guys, right? There most of the time you can also get a BBL on credit in New York. Yeah, guys, and the list goes on, man. And this is what I'm saying. The list goes on and on and on of what social media does to women. Like I want validation on social media. You know what I did, guys? I wrote 100 essays. 100. 100 of them suckers. Actually, I got like 130 now. I wanted people to listen to me, so I said I cannot rely on my looks. I mean, look at my schnoz, look at the bags under my eyes. I can't rely on my looks. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta start providing value, right? But at the end of the day, guys, just know that you should not be ashamed of your sexuality. Life throws curveballs at you. There are times where you just fall off. There are times when the women aren't doing it for you, and they're gonna blame you, and they're gonna remember it's always your fault. It's not that you hooked up with a girl and she gave you a toothy blowjob, or it's not that you hooked up with a girl and halfway through sex she said something kind of like off-putting, or that she had bad hygiene, or that she catfished you, or whatever. It's not their fault. It's your fault. It's your fault that you have this sex drive. Society doesn't like it, at least when it's not used on mid chubby women when they turn 32. So once in a while, you're going to take L's. Once in a while, you're going to feel alone. Maybe you're heartbroken. Maybe you're deployed overseas. Maybe you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you are injured. Or maybe you just don't want to date. You've had such a bad experience. I've been hit in the face on dates. And not the whole defending myself thing, the whole laughing in my face while she did it. And as much as I try to like tell myself, "Oh, that's just her playful nature. She's been drinking." I still look back at that and it does not make me feel good, right? The reality of dating in the United States is that it's crazy out here. And there's a reason I do what I do, to give guys some kind of, you know, something to go off of. But just realize that it's a tool. It's not a good tool. It's not the best, but it's keeping society together. And guys will hear that and say, "No, but it's the reason I'm not happy." No, the reason you're not happy is you. It's not because there's an industry where there's naked women shoving dragon dildos up their butthole. It's not, right? It's not because uh, we don't have the right president or the right policies. You are in charge of your own happiness. And this is the difference. Women don't think like that. Women think that everyone else owes them that. And that's why they have to go on social media. If you truly believe that you are in charge of your own happiness, then you will navigate this whole life and women think much better. And this is really the point of the show today, guys, is that the whole world wants to shame you for what you are. They want to put you in a box, but you have to understand that you have to put your needs first. And the reason a lot of guys end up here looking at these spicy movies is because they never put their needs first. They did the opposite of what they're supposed to do. If you were selfish, you'd have a girl. If you told women no more often, your wife would have sex with you. If you worked out, if you were selfish enough to go approach 3 women and not wait for 2 months for a girl to reply back to you, like these women would have you do, then you wouldn't have to rely on this. Only us degenerate red pill guys have the key to stop men from doing this stuff. But they hate that because in order for a man to get his needs met, he cannot follow female advice or religious advice or moral advice or scientific advice. He can only follow the advice of guys who've done it. And those guys that have done it are selfish and put men first, and that's inconvenient. So, yeah. All right. Let's go to my page. There's another thing I wanted to bring up. So this guy brings up, can't you lump P word and social media in the same group a little bit since they damn near the same thing in this age? He had a point because I can't log on to any social media without seeing a chick, you know, market her spicy page or her spicy Instagram. I can't. No, it doesn't matter the niche. Listen, I have a page just for my dog. Shiba Inu antics, all that stuff, just because I just made a page for my Shiba Inu dog. And I'm like, there is no possible way that spicy Instagram content can get to this page because all I do on that is look at Shiba Inu stuff. right? I repost other Shiba Inu stuff. I laugh at other because wholesome dogs are wholesome. I love dog cons. Who doesn't, right? And one day I log in, I screenshotted it. It's somewhere in my files where it was like, it's like a grid right on your the for you page. The smaller grids were all dogs, and then the big grid that was like four by like it was like four one fourth of the whole grid on your phone was a Asian girl in bikini dancing and shaking her ass. I don't think it's a big problem. I like hot women, right? I'm a man, but I'm just like Jesus Christ. They cannot say that it's men that we search for this stuff because on the most wholesome part of my whole life on the internet, which is my dog's Instagram for you page, it still gets there. It still gets there. And part of the reason women don't understand this, part of the reason we complain about men in general complain about like smut being everywhere, but we still use it, right? At least that's what the stats say. It's because we just want to choose when we use it. We don't want to be it forced upon us, right? I don't want to log in at 9 a.m. and see Dino Mommy trying to explain to me what an ankylosaurus is badly while, her airbrushed cheeks are on there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like it's 9 a.m. It's the workday. Or I don't want to log in and show my girlfriend something on Twitter and have four cheeks shaking and saying whatever gimmick they need to do so you visit their profile. It's not the end of the world, but it's annoying and it's disingenuous and all that stuff. We just want to choose when we see it because it's inherently shameful for us to have to rely on it, and we don't want to get reminded of it all the time. Four chicks. I meant like two girls. You know what I mean. So yeah. But yeah, guys, super chat if you guys could, I'd appreciate it. Um, and like and subscribe if you haven't. If you guys like what I'm putting down here. But if you guys look here, I wanted to I wanted to talk about this before I go. So yeah, can you lump P-word and social media in the same group a little bit since they damn near the same thing? Okay. So something I want to bring up, something I've been noticing since I've been, you know, talking about the stuff in this space. So if you guys pay attention, every social media or every internet or tech company or whatever you call it has to increase value, the shareholder value, or has to grow. There has to be positive growth. And here's the thing: there's only so amount of time or hours in the day for you to be on an app. If social media companies, if they could, they would have you on 24/7 on the app, right? Because that would increase shareholder value or the value of the company. But in order to do that, they would, it's unethical. Like people would start asking questions like, "Hey, my daughter's been on Facebook for 12 hours a day. Like, how do we stop this?" But the adult film industry is the same. It's a company. Like Pornhub is a company. So their goal, they have to grow the industry, that they grow their company just like any other company. So they got to do things. They got to And I've been seeing that the number one thing, if you guys pay attention, that like adult or spicy movie companies want to do, which is the big cap for them for the industry, is normalize it. Make it a thing where you can just go and consume it in public or it not be a big deal. But here's the thing: male shame is more powerful than that. It caps the growth of spicy movies at a certain height. Like, no, people are saying it's changing, but male shame, most men are not going to be open about what they consume. I would say I'm like in my whole life, I've had like two conversations about spicy films. I can count on one hand, half of one hand, because it's shameful. It's a shame. It's reminder that you suck with women, that you can't get a girl. So men are like they know, hey, I suck with women and I had to rely on this. So it's not something we're proud of. You have to be a turbo gooner or like there's content where guys discuss this, but it's in a comical tone where it's like, oh, he must be he's joking around. It's like gooner is still an expletive. It's still not expletive, but it's still an insult. It's never going to be normalized. And some things they've tried is, like I say here, they like I think in 2020 PH they try to buy a stadium. There was a stadium that was available because I think Florida was building a new stadium. I forgot what city, but PH they try to buy it, and the state's like, no, we're not letting an adult spicy or a spicy movie uh, tech company or website buy a stadium. That's insane. So the state blocked them. Um, they try to make the hub a social media site, right? So you can, your face. You can put your face on there, your information, or an avatar, or something like Discord or something, and you could just log in and be like, "Hey guys, look at her body. What do you guys think of her? Like, I don't know, man. She has like hairs on her butt." I'm like, no, but I like how does that does not make sense. No guy's signing up for that. Only the dregs of society are gonna sign up for this. So yeah. Um Adults start trying to double dip in respectable professions and OF, but failing and ending up choosing one or the other. So yeah, we hear stories of women that are like they get found out, like teachers and police cops, firefighters, engineer, like all these. You know, some of them are respectable than others, but like things that require a little bit of decorum to participate in it and to work in. They try and they get fired. Nurses, yeah, they get fired because employers are not dealing with it. So they gotta choose one or the other. They either choose, like, hey, you're either you close the page or we fire you, and they gotta choose. Sometimes they choose the OF, sometimes they choose teaching. Depends, but they cannot double dip, and they're trying so. The next thing would be who make content are trying to to go to niches where men are notorious for being sexually unsuccessful, right? So if you watch any Red Pill podcasts, if you go to anime cons or anime raves like I do, or the Christianity niche online or even in church, you'll realize that while yes, a lot of women use these things to get ahead and get their following, guys are kind of waking up, right? Guys are getting tired of it because you can only give men a virtual experience of sex for so long before they're like, "Hey, I want the real thing." They get older, they get more tired. They're tired of giving money, and they see the Matrix. They see it stops being real to them. And there's guys like me who, of course, are never gonna sit down and watch my content and try to understand me and have a conversation with me. They never will. So I'm perceived as being an angry red pill guy, right? Which I don't feel angry, but sure. And I'm bad because I'm telling men that, they're being taken for a ride. Their loneliness is being weaponized against them, right? It's the commercials all over again from when guys used to get home and they would see commercials about Rogaine or like when guys get on the internet late at night and they see like the dick enlargement pills. It's men are lonely and they're like, oh, the reason that girl rejected you at the bar tonight is because you're bald. Or hey, the reason you're insecure, if you had a bigger dick, you would be happy. But the truth is, it's not that. It's that these commercials and these things are trying to use men's loneliness to make money, to take advantage of it. And we call it out. That's all it is. Me and my fellow content creators, we call it out. I do go to anime raves all the time, and it's almost like half the women have OF, and washed up adult spicy actors have three choices. They either go to the anime community, either stream video games, or they become church or to go to church. Those are those three. Why? Because in those niches, the men are sexually unsuccessful. If they don't go to the niche to discuss law, they don't go to niches where to discuss science and engineering, right? They go to niches where men are not doing well, that are not married, that don't have girlfriends, that are struggling, right? So um, they go to these niches because it's easy and men are lonely. Go to an anime convention. I love those kids, right? I go out and see them having fun, and there was times where I used to cosplay as Cloud Strife, and I'd give one of them my sword. I'm like, guys, go take pictures with the sword if you want. I have a huge sword. It's right behind me. That sword, right there it is. There, and it would make me happy to see them happy. But you could just tell these guys are struggling. These guys are a little bit autistic maybe, or not the popular kids at school, but they'll figure it out. Just give them time. But yeah, they're half the girls there, if not most of them, had OF, and they're being used as tools to get those guys there because they're lonely. Clubs have been doing it forever, but now it's getting worse. Red Pill Podcast, right? They invite these girls that have OF, and they put the OF links in the chat in the description, right? Of course, girls are gonna go down there and get beat up a little bit. It's because it's their funnel. And then Christianity, because Christian men are not known to be good with women. They're very naive and very forgiving of women's past. So of course they're gonna go there, whether to make content and shame men or to marry a man, right? So the next one is Twitch. Like Twitch, obviously it's changed, but it used to be a platform so boys and young men can see other people play video games, right? So what did women do? Women like, hey, I need validation from social media, and so I'm gonna play with my titties out and have a hot tub stream. And some women were like, they would put like green pants on or something and stream on their crotch. Like it got pretty bad. And so here's the thing: the only time where a spicy movie people step in, the government or the court of public opinion really cares is when children or underage people are involved, right? That's why now we need VPNs across several states to look at spicy content. It's because we're concerned that 15-year-old boys are getting their dopamine receptors fried from like women with spicy movies, which is a noble thing, right? I think that's a great thing. However, in Twitch, it's like one step away from spicy movies, right? Because women are filming on their crotch and butt cheeks and opening their legs and showing cleavage and like there was a time like I saw a post from a girl that said, "Oh, my Twitch channel got taken down or I got a warning or something." And the post was her with these women, this like chubby girl with like these massive jugs, just huge titties, and like her the thing covering them, her what is it called? Like her bra, her lingerie or something, covering her nipple was like this small, her titty was like that big. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, okay, we get it, cleavage is important, but Jesus Christ. So if you look at the Twitch TOS, I don't know if they changed it. They used to have to be super specific about which size or which part of the titty to show. They were like, "Oh, inner boob is good, side boob no, under boob no." Like they had to get so specific because they were trying to ride that line in between pipelining young boys to be I wouldn't say addicted, but like, develop the habit as early as possible versus letting women do whatever they want, right? And that's a very interesting thing. I wish more people would talk about that, but it's a very interesting thing that in society, the only way spicy movies are regulated is when underage or children are involved. And it's slow. It's a slow thing, right? Because the VPN thing is new. And obviously, it's probably capped the industry a little bit, right? But yeah, and I explain here that two men who have been friends for 20 years will never share publicly what they watch. It's true. Like my best friends, we don't talk about like, hey, dude, did you see like what was that South Park episode? Did you see Backdoor Sluts 9? It's just like no guys get together and talk about that, man. It's very private. Um, yeah, because it's a sign of male incompetence. It's like, hey, dude, you're struggling with women. That's what that means. Um, and then I go on to say, women feel no shame with social media. I've been asked to explain red pill concepts on here by women who were breastfeeding their baby 2 times. They're not ashamed of that. That is a big difference. Yeah, I was in a space once where women, I hear a crying. This woman, I don't know. She asked me a question and she was like mean about it, but I was like, okay, I'll answer it. Now I'm talking and I hear about a crying baby, and I'm like, whose mic is that? She's like, oh, it's mine. I'm just breastfeeding. I'm like, you're breastfeeding and talking about red pill on the internet? Married to a rich man, by the way. And I'm like, why don't we, like, it's like that. We don't call women losers enough, and we call men losers too much. So just know that, guys, that whenever these arguments come up, don't take them seriously. It's just women want to bully men and find excuses. They don't like our sex drive when it's inconvenient to them. A lot of them are past their prime. A lot of them never got to even enjoy their prime because they were married, and here we are, right? We are at a moment where it doesn't matter what you do, you are the enemy. It's your fault, whether it be a woman making the decision to make it or a man having to use it because he's struggling. It's your fault anyway. You're ruining society. It's they need a reason, they need a scapegoat, and their scapegoat for women not having sex with their husbands, women being overweight and unsexable, um, and even men being overweight, unsexable. It's all you. It's because you look at nipple meat online, knowing damn well that at the end of the day, the reason men are struggling with women is because of inaction, because they don't have a plan, not because of some esoteric, abstract brain matter that rots. Because I can tell you right now, nothing rots my brain than female red pill takes. And I think that does more damage to men than watching any amount of spicy movies. So, yeah. All right.
Thank you so much, best friend!
I turned 41 November, and since I turned 36 or 37, my desire for Zex went down tremendously. Anyways, guys, spicy films become a non-issue. Yeah, as you get older, like you still enjoy sex. It's just not a big deal anymore. Like you get it when you get it. If you can get it every day, fine. If you get it once in a while, it's just, that's why I installed Twitch, yeah. Yeah, and that's what it is. No one wants to talk about it, but it's just like, come on. It's a site where it's meant for like, okay, the slider's going to the right. More and more adults are using Twitch, right? I get that. But when it started out, like maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it was boys. It was kids during the lockdown, during the pandemic, had nothing to do, and they would watch other people play video games. And then women got a hold of it and were like, okay, how much of my body can I show and still respect the TOS? The TOS of Twitch was built by women pushing the limit sexually, right? Look at the TOS in terms of what you can show. It's all women still, because men aren't out there showing cheeks or crotch or anything like that. No, it's women, and it's just like you got to make a choice. You either are pro showing young boys content and half naked women that it's obvious, or you take away the ability for women to market themselves to an extreme level. Your choice. So, yeah. I wonder how much VPN companies make. No, I think they cancel VPNs too. But yeah, the UK is an example of them not understanding society. I think the UK is one of those things that they don't get how uprisings work. They haven't learned their lesson from the United States and our war with them. They haven't. They don't understand. Like, hey, dude, good luck. Good luck. You're gonna need it because so yeah. Yeah, 48 hours. Like, that may be an exaggeration, but guys, like, no, they're like, oh, women are trafficked. I'm like, no, like, I've, we've heard Sterling Cooper. I don't know if he still makes Red Pill content, but Sterling Cooper, and I heard him talk about the industry, and it's just like there isn't enough time slots. Women are like desperately trying to get into the industry, right? If it was so bad, if it was so dangerous, women wouldn't be like there wouldn't be a line outside the door, right? It is what it is. So let me but yeah, guys. Ultimately, it's a tired argument. Like, who cares? Remember, when people are trying to tell you what to do, people are trying to shame you and stuff. Even if it's goodwill, remember what the intention, right? Because a lot of great things have been said with the wrong intention, and this is one of them, right? Um, there's nothing women can do for you in terms of your sexual problem. All you have is other men that have sat down and figured out themselves or learned something. That's all you have. So anyone that's trying to keep you away from like men that know what they're doing and are willing to help you with in good faith, um, it is not your friend. Because at the end of the day, you can worship God all you want, you can be pro woman all you want, you can do all these things, but none of these things will deliver you a woman. You have to figure it out yourself, right? $5 from
サンキューソーマッチベストフレンド
Terminated with the $5. I see single women who make 100K and own homes upset that there aren't enough men who are successful, but I think it's because they're in small circles. Yeah, it could be. I think realize too that um one of the hardest things for women is to self-reflect and to have like a really honest conversation with themselves. It's the delusion, and and this is another reason why social media is so bad. It's just like there is a chance, ma'am, that you are unattractive, right? Unattractive, because there are plenty of women that make 100K that are married and happy. And I know you may think, well, they're all gone. It's just like, no, it's easier than ever for a woman to get in a relationship. It really is the easiest time in history. It's that you chase men away. Trust me, you're not that special. None of us are. You're not. Being with you isn't going to give a man endless happiness. It never is. No woman can make a man happy. A man has to make himself happy. So it's not really men or the lack thereof. It's just that you're unlikable. Maybe that journey to getting 100K a year not was made you a bad person, or made you think you had to be a bad person, or kind of like you feel like you don't have to be likable and men and girly and feminine, right? Maybe, but that's up to them. Well, I appreciate you. It's been over 2 weeks, but you being with me at the Anime Con delivering me for myself, you being with me solved almost 3 decades of worth of issues of, hey man, it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Really? If you watch the anime Shimoneta, it shows a world where P word is banned as well. And listen, guys, like I'm not also I'm not saying we already seen enough of that tweet, but I'm not saying that you should be mad or like go on a crusade, because I've dated women that have made content, and I'm telling you, it's it's definitely daddy issues. Both women had daddy issues, and the OF girl I dated, sure, like, we went, like, 2 dates and we, like, hooked up, like, twice or 3 times, I don't remember, so long ago. I didn't feel like she was insane. I didn't feel like something was, like she wasn't able to function. She was just a poor chick. I think she was a single mom, if I remember correctly. It wasn't like, "Hey, something's wrong with her. She's a scourge of the earth. She's the reason." It's just a down on her luck chick, and maybe she probably has daddy issues, right? Whatever. I think most women that need that level of attention have daddy issues to some extent, right? Um, but at the same time, like, don't accept people shaming you for your sexuality, because you decided, hey, I suck. I'm gonna take care of it this way, but next time I'll try again. Because no one cares. No one cares about your problem and your ability to get laid. As a matter of fact, they're gonna make it hard your whole life, and not in the good way. At 18, they tell you you're not good enough. At 25, they tell you you're not good enough. At 30, they tell you settle down with someone that's been dating around and doing whatever they want all their 20s. At 34, they say that you dating a 25-year-old is pedophilia. At 40, if you get divorced, they say it's your fault. At 50, if you decide to say a girl younger than 30, you're a pedophile. Right? At 60, if you're attracted to younger chicks, the guys, it's never gonna get like, I'm not gonna say it gets harder, but society's never gonna be like, ah, yes, the masculine sex drive. Thank you. They're never gonna do that. They're gonna shame you for the rest of your life, your preferences for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what you do. Unless you marry a fat chick your age who has a social media presence, who does body top positivity content, and you're a part of her brand, and she gets to make fun of you, society will not be happy, right? Like Rolo's reignite, but that's funny. Yeah, well, I mean, I just in order to deal with this, it's like Steve Irwin, right? You got to deal with animals like Steve Irwin. You got to be practice extreme care, right? You have to know what you're dealing with. You have to be confident because he would just stick his hand on their neck or in a hole or something and pull it out. And he was experienced. He's like, look, I got this Australian like dick-eating spider. Look at it, it's beautiful. And he would admire it, just like you would admire a girl. Like, damn, she looked good. She's crazy. But and then he would put her back, put it back, the animal, and be excited that he gets to hold it and teach you about it. And if the animal bit him, he wouldn't be mad at the animal. He would curse, but he'd be like, I stuck my hand in there. Shouldn't have done it, but I just really wanted to show you guys. And that's, the Steve Irwin approach to women. You can never be mad at the animal for doing what it's designed to do. You disrupted its peace, you disrupted its home. You as a guy went and talked to an animal is an animal, right? I'm not saying women are like, I mean that in a nice way. Women are not like lowly animals, even though kangaroos are pretty cool. But what I'm saying is just treat it like that. Step back. Don't be invested in that the animal or the woman in front of you has to be act a certain way or act right. Make sure you're convince yourself that women are going to be women regardless. They're going to watch out for themselves, right? They're addicted to internet validation. Men are the enemy. I don't mind if they're the enemy as long as they're hot, and I'm a mess. Whatever. Those rules will be good enough for you to not be mad at women. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and if you get mad at them, they're not mad. They don't care. They don't care how mad you are. So, Nick, we need a Steve Irwin approach essay or vid, man. It's a brilliant concept. Yeah, it makes me sad though. Like I took it really hard when Steve Irwin died. I was like a mess. I was like, motherfucker. So, but yeah, guys, it's just I get a lot of shit because I'm not mad at women. You know, I'm not mad. I'm not like out to get them. I'm not like I. Maybe that screwed me over. I accepted it and just walked away. Like, guys, that's all you have. You can just walk away. You don't have to like be mad. That's what they want. They want you to worry about them. They want you to be mad at them. If you really want to stick it to women, be neutral. Pedestalizing them is what they like. Being mad at them, they also like. Not caring, moving on to the next one. That's really sticking it to women. Because look at me, that's what I did, and look at me, I'm getting everything I want. So, yeah. All right. Any other super chats? Let's see. Did I read all of them? Yes, I did. Making sure. Uh, oh yeah, I'll be back in Dallas next week. I'll be at that event. Oh, you're going to Anime Frontier. Yeah, I think I might cosplay for that. I've never cosplayed for an anime con. I might hit up cosplay and all that stuff. Um, I think it's in Fort Worth. We'll see. That person we met up with did say she takes joy in manipulating men, and I completely know that. Yeah, it's just they do, right? But the truth is, we all kind of want to be manipulated. Like I want to be manipulated, but we just want to be manipulated in the way we like, right? If your wife wants new cap, or if your wife wants new curtains, do you want her to nag you about it, or do you want her to cook you a steak dinner, give you a massage, good sex, and buy you something? That's good manipulation. Like, hey, you want something from me? At least you're buttering me up a little bit, right? Whereas bad manipulation is like nagging you or explaining to you like this is how much of a sucker you are. That's bad manipulation. No one wants to be played for a sucker, right? So yeah. Yeah, he had an optimistic joy about how he approached them no matter what happened to. Yeah, that's like I got to a point when I was dating where I just kind of like you start seeing women when you start seeing women for what they are and how insecure and how like how it would suck to be a girl because look what they got to deal with and what meanwhile you're just a dude and you're chilling. Like you kind of see women as like, hey, I wonder what she's like naked. I want to experience this woman, see what it's all about. And there's a difference between I just want to have sex, I'm horny, which is like, I wonder what that's like. I'm curious. And there have been times where the woman wasn't even that attractive. Like I had a neighbor and she was like, I think Southeast Asian, slightly chubby. I would see her in the mornings back in the day, and I would see her and I'm like, huh, this girl probably is a freak. I wonder what that's like. Hmm. Because you get over the fact that you're not some princess where you know every woman you talk to or deal with is like some kind of like thing on your honor as a man. Like, dude, no one cares, right? Obviously, you don't want to like go out and bang only unattractive women, right? That's probably not as fun. But once in a while, it's just like sometimes you just need McDonald's. You've been having steak and lobster all the time. Once in a while, yeah, I just want to make chicken. I want to. There's something new on the McDonald's menu. I want to try it. It's not healthy. It's probably not as tasty as lobster and steak, but a variety. I just want to see what it's like. And that's a good thing about actualizing and accepting your nature as a man is the unapologeticness. Because who do I have to explain to that I wanted to have sex with a woman that probably I'm a little bit under my normal standards? Who do I have to explain? No one. No one cared. No one even paid attention. That's the thing. And that's what you want. And that's really what the point of this whole video. I know we've been going for a while, but it's you don't have to explain your sexuality or your needs, how you get your needs met to anyone. However, you need to do something about it. And this is the difference between the ex sex worker harpies on the internet telling you it's bad versus me telling you it's bad. I tell you it's bad because life is short and having real sex is better. And it takes a little bit of there's a process. And the process isn't impossible, it's just patience and discipline. Whereas they say it because they don't like the sex drive. It's inconvenient. They don't like to compete versus virtual women, even though the virtual women aren't as hot as themselves either. It's the makeup and the filters and all that stuff, right? So that's the difference here. And don't let people on the internet try to morality you into a box. You have a sex drive. It's hard. You're going to have L's. They don't know that. Men that don't fuck don't know that. Women don't know that. The only people that know that are guys that are actually out there, the men in the arena. And I'll tell you, the most empathetic men that I know are men in the arena because they know what it's like to take an L. They know what it's like for just to have a beautiful girl slip out of your hands. They know what it's like to hook up with a girl only to find that she sucks in bed or has bad hygiene or just isn't like they know all these things that only other men who try know. But men who don't try and women will never know. So why are you letting them dictate how you should feel about your sexuality, your masculine, your masculinity? So keep approaching, keep swiping, talk to cute girls, give it a shot, and listen, man. Um, it's not your fault. You didn't ask for this dating landscape, right? For a lot of us wanted to be married by 25. We didn't ask for this. But also, you got to do something about it. And you have the key. You're in a prison, right? The prison is shame and guilt. And letting an ex stripper on the internet or a girl that used to do gangbangs tell you about what you should do with your genitals is you're never going to get girls with that mentality. And see, that's the thing. Like, if you feel beholden to women on the internet who fucked and sucked their way through their 20s and now changed at a change of mind, that mentality is unattractive to women. And see how it's a prison now? You tell those women to F off. Not maybe not in person, maybe not online, but in your mind. And you say, I got a job to do. I cannot wait for society or God or religion or my favorite political streamer or nuke or anyone to deliver me hoes or bitches or whatever you want to call them. I need to go there. And in order to get there, I need to be 100% understanding that sex is a need and it has to happen. It has to happen. And if you don't pay attention and put a little effort and pay attention to yourself and get unfuck yourself, then you're going to have to rely on this stuff, on this spicy content. That is more productive than using a more people trying to tell you that your sexuality is bad and you should control it. You don't control it. Everyone has been telling you to control it your whole life. You know who's not going to tell you to control it? Women that like you. They're going to be wanting to see you more often and they're going to be like, "Why can't you just have sex with me every day?" And I want you to think, "Oh, it was never about controlling my sexuality. It's just that maybe people don't want men to be happy. Maybe it's more fun to bully men and keep them boxed in than it is to like encourage them." Right? That's why I'm never about this content that like tells you the only way to be a man is through suffering. Great. Suffering for what? The only reason I was able to get through my Navy career was because there was a light at the end of the tunnel. There was a payout. There was a goal, something that was going to happen at the end of it, and it did. I got a pretty nice life. But if I would have just done it for the sake of it, I would be miserable. I probably wouldn't be here right now, God forbid, right? But everything you do as a man, make sure there is a reason for it, a goal. I know we have sedations and sometimes you just want to brainlessly grind on a video game or whatever. That's okay. But realize that these people don't have the key to solving your sexual problems. They're miserable themselves. They're either underfucked or they don't have the balls to do what we have. We have the balls to do, which is approach women, and they're always gonna try to put you in a box. And that box is, hey, your sexuality is not important, and we want you to believe that. And believing that, again, women, okay, never believe that women don't appreciate your sexuality. The problem is that there's a marketing problem that men have. Some of us are too fat. Some of us are not charming enough, or a little bit awkward. It's okay. Some of us wear really weird clothes. Some of us are not in the right place. We go to places where the competition is high, or places where the women aren't attractive, or whatever. The music's loud. Once you figure those things out, you're going to realize that women are literally begging. I want to say literally, but like almost begging for your masculine presence. They just cannot get enough. But the thing is, the conditions have to be right. And most of the conditions, you have the power to change. You just got to move. You have to shuck and jive. You have to, you know, you have to lose the weight. You have to get charming. You have to get out of your head. You know what my sticking point or what my problem was? Why I wasn't more charming? Is because I was mad. I was angry. I don't know what it was. I think it was the military or something. I was constantly angry. I thought that my problems were the most important thing. And then I realized, wait a minute, everyone has problems. And then I switched it to, I want to make as many people happy and smile as I can. And guess what? My life got so much better after that. Like, the only problem now is that women like you too much. Your female friends, your female coworkers, the women that you have sex with, the girl you end up want to being your girlfriend, winds up being your girlfriend. The women that hate your content, the women that love your content, your neighbors, all of them. Once they get the feeling that you were put on this earth to make them smile, they'll be like, I like that guy. And really that's what the problem. Guys already out the gate get this entitlement that because they have a paycheck and they're a man, they get women. Women should like them. But the truth is no. The rules have always been the same for humanity. part of your burden of performance that everyone forgot was being likable. Well, what is likable? Well, have you ever set a date or set an event for someone and they show up on time? You were like, damn. Have you ever had an event like a graduation and someone you cared about showed up very well dressed? You were like, I like them. They give a shit. Have you shaken a man's hand, or went up to hug a woman and their hair or his cologne smelled great? You're like, wow, this guy smells good. He has good hygiene. I like him. I mean, not in a romantic sense, right? But just you appreciate that he's taking care of something that a lot of men don't take care of, which is hygiene, and women too. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not this rocket science. You don't have to go 100% PUA, right? Obviously, for the big leagues, and if you want to do it PUA, yeah, sure. Pretty interesting lifestyle, if you ask me. But for the basic stuff, for um, I would say the things that make people magnetic and attractive, it's not a secret. It's not some kind of like ancient tome you have to find somewhere to find. It's not like how to win friends and influence people, right? Just think of the things that you appreciate in people and do it yourself, right? It's not a one way street. Men will be like, I don't want to be a clown for women, right? But they spend hours watching movies, anime, playing video games. I'm like, okay, so the whole world has to entertain you and the world has to be interesting to you, and you can't give fucking 1% back to anybody. Really, that's the level of entitlement we have, and that's what I thought. I'm like, wow, I'm always complaining that no one's good enough for me. Maybe I should just start giving the energy first and see what happens. And guess what? I get free drinks now when I go out. Um, I have high status friends now in places I go to. Um, it's just life got so much better because I stopped saying, "Oh, this person owes me this." That's a female way of thinking. That's your broken upbringing where the world treated you like a girl. That's that. Because women are the ones that are like, "Make me happy. I'm not happy." Men are got to go make that happiness, and that's the awesome. You have two hands and a personality. We're naturally more funny, so go and enjoy the advantages, right? Make people smile. Learn about them, and you'll realize that it's not so much about the getting of the pussy. It's that in order to be happy, you need to give. You need to tip more than the average person. You need to do favors more than the average person. You need to make people laugh and think, hey, how I am having a bad day. How is this person in front of me feel? And one of the keys for me getting laid a lot was, and men are gonna not like this, I always put myself in the girl's shoes. She drove 30 minutes in the rain, right? So let me show up with an umbrella to her car or to her Uber. Um, let me act as if let me plan the day and make it nice. Right. Let me get her a nice drink. Let me recommend the nicest drink for her. Let me thank her. Hey, I appreciate you coming out to see me. I know it was a long drive. You know, I know that may sound simpy, but if a girl's in front of you wearing a dress with her tits out and it's a 30-minute drive in the rain, right? And she's kissed you on the cheek and saying and excited to see you. I think you pretty much got in the bag. You just don't talk yourself out of it, right? You can be a little nice. She's done enough. All she needs is two drinks, a quick conversation, about 2-hour conversation. She's back at your place, right? Right, and that's what like Grim Villain hits it on the head here. She drove 30 minutes in the rain with shaved legs for you. Least you can do is be charming and likable, right? Charming charismatic is just making people feel good and special by being around you. Yeah, and that's what I changed. I'm like, I want the whole world to make me happy and make me laugh and do things and deliver things on time. And this is like we're like little um spoiled princes from like the medieval times, the dark ages. No, you have to give, right? I go to the coffee shop. I light up everyone. Like I say, hey guys, you want to pet my dog? How are you doing? Hey, I like your hat. Whatever. Well, would you get that? Like I give. I show people I'm present. And then when I call my mom, you know, I don't talk to her about my problems or I minimize them, right? Not that I wish I could, but sometimes like, hey mom, like what did you plant today? Like, did you cut down that banana tree like you said? And well, mom, I need this advice. Like you give and you give and you realize that at the end of the day, the world doesn't fucking owe you shit. Even though sometimes it should, you have to stop thinking like that. And you'll realize that the whole world is gonna start giving back, right? And that is why things like the theories I developed, like therapy game, right? Where you kind of like treat the date as if you're analyzing a girl and her actions through a very empathetic but very insightful therapist works so well on dates now, right? Is because you're giving them understanding, you're giving them something that they can't get anyone else, which is a deep conversation about herself. How many men, how many women, how many employers can do that? Honestly, on the first date or initially, you're going to do a lot of the talking because she's nervous. Women are nervous creatures. But once you get her talking about herself on such a deep level that no one ever talks to her like that, right? Maybe you have to throw in some astrology. Maybe you have to throw in some psychology mumbo jumbo. You'll realize that like that's all she's ever wanted in a long time. And it's kind of jarring how hard women throw themselves at you once you give them therapy game. Like, and that's why like halfway through a date, and this was one of my like deep secrets, right? Secrets that I shouldn't be sharing. Um, I would always ask them like, "Oh, sorry, excuse me. Oh, I forgot to ask you. How are you feeling today? Sorry, I apologize. I should have asked you that earlier." And it's always like they look down, they're like, "Well, I had this," and I'm like, I think you're hiding something, but I don't want to hear it yet. I want when you're ready." Like the stupid psychology therapist mumbo jumbo. They can't get enough. Women feel like no one understands them. And what's the crazy thing? The crazy thing about all this is sometimes in that process of you think you're manipulating the girl, you are actually fucking interested. And that's the crazy part. There have been times where I'm like, this girl's such a sucker. She's falling for it. Then halfway in the day, I've had a drink, so I'm like, I like this girl more now. Like in my pursuit to fake and manipulate women on dates, all I've done was humanize them even more. I've learned about their sad family history. I learned about their body dysmorphia and the things they wish they could change about themselves. Hell, women will show up with big tits, small tits, right in your face and be like, I wish these were smaller or I wish these were bigger in my face. And I'm like, it's ironic because I wanted to use this stuff to manipulate you into liking me, into thinking that I care. And now I care because now I actually like you. And I can't blame the alcohol. I've only had one whiskey. And that's the beauty of women and game and all that stuff is that in your pursuit and in your learning of manipulation and tactics and cheap tricks, you might actually discover what you like about her. And maybe that was the point all along. Maybe it was the whole time while making small talk with boring neighbors in your elevator or that coworker and all that stuff. Um, you ended up seeing the human part of yourself, of them, and then maybe a reflection of your humanity. And that's a beautiful thing. It sounds lame as hell. Sounds pretty gay, right? But hey, this is just me spilling a little bit of my deep thoughts. But listen to Harpies online, man. It's just gonna make you better. It's gonna take you farther away from those experiences, right? They already had their fun. Some of them were strippers. They made spicy content. Some of them just were bored. Some of them are bored still. And you have this beautiful life in front of you of experiencing women, and they don't want you to have that, right? They want you tied to a woman like them and miserable and building fences, which, yeah, maybe one day you will build a fence, but let it be for a girl that you actually choose on your terms and at your pace, not when they say. So, yeah. Thanks, Shaw, for reposting Elite Therapy Game. Yeah. Yeah, bro smells good. He's cool. Like, how many times have you shaken a man's hand and the guy's has a firm handshake? Hell, how many times have you have a bro at work and he daps you up extra nice? You're like, damn, bro, that was a good dap. It's just, yeah. I used to start all my dates with a big hug. And you know what? It was a grand slam. Women loved it. I would do a hug and then slightly lift them off the ground. And I'd be like, I forgot to tell you, I like to hug. My hugs are the best. And she'd be like all about it. And you realize like take it from the internet and women on the internet and women that don't like you and want to like those women are not normal. The average woman, again, the masculinity stuff, the average woman loves that shit. They love that like, holy shit, this guy just barely picked me off the ground and he smells good and he's, this, and that, and he's dressed well. Oh, this might not be so bad. They're still want it, right? So yeah. All right.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Taught him with the $10. I feel charged up tonight after this, man. Thank you, Nuke. As always. Hey, man. Small effort, like Jack Napier says. Small effort. Exactly. It just you're supposed to want like, and then for a space that got created so guys can get laid. No one wants to get laid. We want to change the world. We want to change women's mind. We want to appeal to authority, appeal to women's morality. We want to make money doing like nefarious shit. We want to sell courses. By the way, Gumroad course is $10. If you guys if anyone super chats me $20, I'll make it $5 for everyone. And I'll put the link. Right now I'll make it $5. First, I just need one $20 super chat. And guys, it'll be $5 until further notice. How about we do that, right? It used to be 30. I was like, yeah, I think that it's the holidays. We need to get guys on, we need to push them out the door, get these clothes, get their clothes game. It's jacket season. It's almost impossible to look bad if you got a good jacket, right? But yeah. And yeah, thank you, man. I just been talking. Oh, look at that. Ah, we'll give you a $6 shrimp special.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special!
All right, I'm gonna go right now into my Gumroad. And then I'll put the link. Let me just go into my Gumroad. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, dashboard. Thanks, Todd. You're doing good, man. You did good. Let's see. Products. And let me go in here. And I'm going to show you screen proof, guys. Let's see. Edit products. Let's see. Where is the. Okay. Hold on. All right. I'm going to share screen with you guys, show you that I'm not playing around. Okay. Share screen. So if you can see there, it's $10. I don't know if you guys can see it's a little small. But $5 thanks to Todd. You can thank Todd for that. It is now $5, so you guys have at it. Save changes. There it is. I'm saving changes. There you go, guys. And now let me get you the link. Copy product URL. And I will put it here. Boom. Here you go, guys. $5, 30,000 pages of fashion advice or guide or whatever. Enjoy. It helps. This is stuff that I learned that, remember, all this stuff has been tested in the field with women and people that I care about, so hopefully it helps you guys. So I also am a man of the people, Todd. What can I say? So yeah. But yeah, guys, do you guys like longer live streams? Like I was trying to shorten them, but it seems like you're enjoying this. You guys know I love to talk. It's one of my biggest, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's one of my biggest qualities is that I love to talk. So, um, talking for a long time, it gets my ideas out. I got a lot of stuff in my head. I see the timeline, it just fills my head with ideas and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm just glad I can provide value. I know a lot of you guys like the red meat stuff. It's fun, right? But understand, you guys have a job to do here. Women are there bored as hell. The reason they're on the internet bitching at you about your usage of spicy movies or whatever they think you do is because they're bored. So if you want to solve the problem of nagging women, you have to go out there and romance them. That's how they do it. You can't nag women. You can't convince them using logic. You can't use morality. You can't use science. They don't care about any of that shit. They care about here. So if you really want to solve the problem of angry women, joining online movements and yelling at them or throwing super chats, even though I appreciate your super chats, guys, don't get me wrong, but throwing super chats at like political accounts or accounts that want to change the world are just going to make them rich. Like, how does that help you? Right? Everything has to be for you. Make sure that you're getting something out of this because if you're not, you're wasting your time. We're wasting both of each other's time. Make sure that you're getting something out of it. Um, Women will never have the answer. All they have is they want to give you roadblocks. But once you beat the whole mentality of like, I want to, like the approval seeking behavior and wanting to bash women for anything, once you have that neutrality that you need, that neutrality is what gets you good with game and with women because you become unaffected. If you pedestalize women, that will screw up your game. If you dislike women and make it a point on the internet and in your social circles or whatever to make everyone know that, it also affects your game. Not giving a fuck either way, that helps your game the most. It's neutral. And if you need a moment or a week to like be frustrated, that's fine. We're men, we're humans. Men have been frustrated by women for the beginning since the beginning of time. But you can't stay there. You got to move on, neutral, it's whatever. Yeah, maybe it's because I've been stressed out, got a lot of external stress factors and all that stuff. But yeah, it's whatever. It's my brain. I just got to get out of my head a little bit. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, it went viral, and there's a reason, right? Um, it's a pain point, and it's a one way, and things go viral for like in the intersexual relationships stuff. I don't want to say manosphere, but like boy girl intersexual dynamics niche on the Twitter, which a lot of people kind of participate in, is when it's something that affects both genders or one gender extremely to the point where then the other gender denies it, right? And this is one of the things. Like another thing would be the wall. Like the wall affects women, but but they deny it, but men see it. It's like a pain point for men because men we like younger women, and post-wall women are like we see what they do when they're in their 20s, and they're like completely trying to fight it. That's why when I post Leonardo DiCaprio, it usually goes viral. It's because it's that type of post. Um, so anything, and they have to be things that women affect women in person, not like abstract red pill or fempowerment slop. Like the wall is something that women are obsessed about. So it is always going to be a pain point because women have to go to parties and events and post on social media where they can try all they want. They can try all they want, but they cannot compete with younger women. So yeah, those are pain points, and this is a pain point where like men were being shamed for sexuality and how we deal with it. Yeah, porn is not the best. Got it. Cool. We understand. We get it. We get it. But hey, social media is turning women into lunatics. Like you saw the thumbnail where it's like women crying. Look up women crying on social media. No one's saying anything. No one's saying like, hey, like we should, make an investigation, psychological investigation. Their family members aren't saying, hey, go to therapy. We're just like, you go, girl. Show strangers on the internet your emotions, and no one's saying anything. And I forgot to mention that another reason why social media is 100 times worse for women. I mean, I kind of mentioned it is that like if I catch my friend yanking it, um, I'm gonna be like, dude, bro, like, what the fuck? You know, I'm gonna fake fun of him, whatever. Are females making fun of their friends for crying in the car? Probably not. They're probably encouraging them. It's a shitty thing to do to your friend to not step in and be like, hey, what's wrong with you? The hell? But that's just me. So yeah. Highly unlikely. But all right, guys. Talked a lot. I think I got the point across. It's an important thing to think about. Yeah, I never want that to happen. Jesus Christ. It's to the point where, like, if I ever lived with a friend, I would just knock, even if even if it was like the front door of the house, I'd knock extra loud and like wait 3 seconds, pretend I'm trying to find my keys or trying to find something because I just don't want to walk in on it. Yeah, yeah, it's just what do you do? It's gotta suck, you know. What do you do? But anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Great show. Hopefully I've cleared everything up or reaffirmed or confirmed, whatever. So I'll see you guys later. Like and subscribe. Um, comment below your thoughts. Who knows? Maybe you give me some clarity to me. Who knows? But you guys have a good night. Talk to you guys next time.